Excuse the position, I'm just practicing my yoga. But now that you're here, we might as well get to know each other. My name's Peabody. I assume you know yours. Hey guys, it's Stradling with the Rotoscopers, and today I'm really excited to bring you the very first art book of 2014, The Art of Mr. Peabody and Sherman. Now, Mr. Peabody and Sherman is actually the third animated film to come out in 2014. The Nut Job and the Lego movie that preceded didn't have art books. So I'm really excited that this is the first one that I get to review because it really sets the standard really high on what to expect in art books this year. The Art of Peabody and Sherman is published by Insight Editions and Titan Books, and this is so beautiful. I absolutely love everything about this book. The design, the layout. Mr. Peabody and Sherman is a cartoon from the 60s, and so they really play off those mid-century modern feel and design. So a lot of the fonts and different designs just really scream, you know, the 60s, and I love it. So they really, even though this movie is set in modern day, they played back on their roots basically. And so it just has a different feel than a lot of the art books that I've seen recently. And I just liked the way that it was set up. I liked that they, you know, they had these little speech bubbles right here that had quotes and really simple things, but it just made the whole book that much more enjoyable to read. Now, the Art of Mr. Peabody and Sherman is laid out in a very traditional way. So we start with the characters first, which I actually, after having read The Art of Frozen, I kind of prefer just seeing the main characters at the very beginning. Let's see all their designs, and then we move on to other sections. So this book has 4 chapters. The first chapter is main characters. So here we get to see a lot of different characters. We see Mr. Peabody, Penny, and we just sort of move on from there. And I really liked it because every character had multiple pages devoted to them, and so you got to see how they were developed. Now, you can't go completely revolutionary with the character designs because these are classic characters. You can't make Mr. Peabody a brown dog. I mean, he is a white dog that wears glasses. So as we see, you know, the development of the characters, there are little variations in what they look like, but for the most part, it's just a more stylized or updated version of the characters that we love. You know, for example, take Sherman. You're looking at him, and there is no doubt in your mind that this is Sherman. This is the Sherman that we love, you know, right here, right here. He looks maybe a little different in some of these sections, and they played around with what they wanted him to look like, but really, you look at all of these and you say, yes, that's Sherman, got it. So I really enjoyed that. Now, there are some new characters such as the Petersons and Penny, and you know, when we go back in time and we look at some of the historical figures, so there's a little bit more deviation and exploration of the character designs in those sections. So the next chapter is called Peabody's World, and so this talks about where Peabody lives, his penthouse, the Wayback Machine, and goes into exploring those things. So look at his beautiful penthouse, how awesome it is, the different explorations of, you know, the city, what they wanted his penthouse to look like inside and out, and, you know, I love this one, Sherman, Sherman, he really is just a little crazy boy. Tricks, whipped cream, I mean, I have nephews, and that's what they eat for breakfast. So I really like this. They make Mr. Peabody the very sophisticated one, and then there's Sherman, just like a little dog, little puppy, going crazy. So I liked this section as we got to see different looks as they were playing with what does this sophisticated penthouse look like. Another cool part of Mr. Peabody's World is they have these things called Kevin Dart posters. So during the visual development of this movie, they designed sort of retro-looking posters to help them get an idea of what they wanted their film to look like. So they have Mr. Peabody here on his jet, Mr. Peabody with these sexy ladies. They don't actually make it into the movie, but it's just really fun to explore what the character would look like. And then, of course, there's the Wayback Machine, so we get to see all the different designs of what that looked like and what they ultimately chose. Also in this section, we get to see Sherman's room, his teachers, his schoolmates, his classroom, more delving, like it says, into the actual world of present day. Alright, I was trying to look for chapter 3, couldn't find it, it's because it's way down here at the bottom. The third chapter is called Peabody's Travels, and this is where we get to see the different eras that they go back in time and visit. There's the French Revolution, there's the Trojan War, ancient Egypt, really fun stuff. I love looking at the different designs. I like seeing how they took very classic historical figures such as Leonardo da Vinci and Marie Antoinette and, you know, Cleopatra, and just their little spin on these characters. From the trailers, I am really excited to see this movie. It's just going to be a whole lot of fun, and looking in this book, it really just even gets me even more excited. So yeah, you're going to love this book, and you're going to love looking at the different designs that they did because it's great. And the last chapter is called Building a Scene, and I really liked this. They do this with a lot of books where they go from start to finish showing you how a scene is made. So starting with the storyboards, moving into animation, lighting, rendering, whatever. So this sequence is called sequence 1680. So you can read Sherman's lines, Mr. Peabody's lines, and see what's happening in this scene. And then they start by adding, the storyboards, modeling it out, adding more color, the visual development. And they just kind of keep adding and adding and adding while continuing the dialogue and moving the scene along, which I thought was pretty awesome. And then finally finished, and we keep going, visual effects. Yeah, and then, more concept art at the end. Then at this very end, there's a conclusion. There's an afterword by the director, Rob Minkoff. And then this is my favorite part. I love this. They have the crew photos. It's just a little touch that they didn't have to really do. But I liked just seeing all these people. I mean, I don't really know who all of them are, but they were involved, and it's just kind of cool to see, wow, a lot of people put a lot of hard work into this movie, and, they got a little bit of recognition in this book, so that was pretty neat, too. Now, a lot of people are going to hate me for saying this, but I actually like this book a lot better than The Art of Frozen. Now, I like the concept designs and the content in The Art of Frozen. I just wasn't a really big fan of how it was laid out and structured. But this book really used all the pages very wisely. There were some pages where they just jammed everything they had onto a page, making it a visual smorgasbord, and other pages they very wisely used full pages for one photo or broke it into 2 or 3. I just liked the flow of this book a little bit better. It was easier for me to follow through. And I loved the 60s mid-century modern design of the typography and the style of this book. So definitely pick up The Art of Mr. Peabody and Sherman. It's worthy of any art of animation book collection. Oh, and this is one thing I didn't talk about. It was so cool. So the cover starts with some of the concept designs of these new characters in the movie, but then they pay tribute to the original cartoon show, and they have the older designs from different cartoons and different episodes where they visited these people. So you get to see the original designs. They go through this door and they transform into the more modern day Mr. Peabody and Sherman. So I thought this was a really beautiful cover, probably one of my favorites that I've seen. Alright guys, hope you liked my review of The Art of Mr. Peabody and Sherman. Be sure to thumbs up if you want to buy this book or if you just liked my review, and subscribe for more art reviews. We're going to be doing a lot, hopefully for every animation art book this year. We're going to be doing them, and Chelsea and I are going to be getting together and reviewing some old art books. So if you want to see more art books, especially with me and Chelsea, and let me know in the comments below which books you want to see us do. Old books, The Art of Tangled, maybe some Disney movies. We're going to do our best to get a hold of those and give those reviews for you guys. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Morgan and this is the Rotoscopers YouTube. So I kind of like the more cartoony concept sketches.
I personally enjoyed the foreword by Nicolas Cage. That was my personal favorite.
Hey, when you have Nicolas Cage, you might as well use him. So one of the pages that I really liked was this color and light page. I thought it was